I'd like now to say a few words about establishing a home meditation practice. The first point that I always emphasize in talking about this is that if you're going to do meditation as a practice, you have to establish a reasonable degree of regularity of practice. And I want to just give a few points about how this can be done. If we take a week of 7 days and say that we're going to do sitting meditation, say 5 days out of the 7. So then we decide which days we're going to sit. Say it's Monday through Friday, or say, here's another one, Monday through Thursday, Friday off, then Saturday and Sunday off. Or it might be 6 days a week. Especially in the beginning, I don't recommend trying to do 7 days a week. Give yourself at least 1 day a week when you don't do the formal practice. Otherwise, as much as is possible to do, given your schedule, your activities in daily life, your responsibilities, try to do meditation at roughly the same time each day, with the same pattern of days each week. This regularity of practice is far more important than the length of time that you sit. It's much, much better to do regular practice just a few minutes a day in the beginning than to do, say, half hour, hour of sitting irregularly. You do it 1 day, you miss a few days, you do it again. It's very hard to make progress that way. This is just like developing any other habit, trying to develop the habit of meditation. Regular repetition is very, very helpful to doing this. And then on that day off, don't do the meditation in a formal sense unless something you just said, well, I really need to do it today. Give yourself a rest from it. Again, even if you're only doing a few minutes a day. You can also set up to do it twice a day. Perhaps one period, just a few minutes, perhaps another period, a little longer. Perhaps you do a few minutes when you get up in the morning, then in the evening you do, say, twice as long. But in the beginning, once a day is just fine. You need to trust your instincts again and do something that is possible to do and to sustain. Possible to sustain. If you undertake too much in the beginning, you may quickly come to dread doing it. Now, what about the length of meditation periods? It's much better to start out with short periods and gradually extend them. I said in an earlier talk, we tend not to go over about 40 minutes on a meditation period. But don't think that 40 minutes is some kind of goal to shoot for. There is no goal to shoot for in any external sense. It's much better to do a shorter period and to look forward to doing it than to make it something that you dread by undertaking more than you're ready to do. At the same time, it does require effort. My teacher used to recommend to people that you sit a length of time that you're comfortable for, and then push a little into the discomfort area. You push a little into it. So if you're comfortable with sitting 5 minutes, sit 5 minutes, then sit an extra, say, 2 minutes. If you're comfortable with sitting 10 minutes, sit 10 minutes, and then another 2 to 5 minutes. Something along those lines. This is also the way to deal with actual physical discomfort that comes up. Your legs start hurting, your back starts hurting. First of all, be sure that your position is the right position for you. If there's any doubts about that, find someone who knows how to teach this and get them to check your position out. If you want to do so, you can always send us some pictures of you sitting. Get someone to take some pictures, and we'll respond. Okay, but if you think you've got the position right, and it still gets uncomfortable, well, push into the discomfort a little bit. Just sitting still with it. Just sitting still with it. And don't turn it into an ascetic practice. Don't turn it into some form of misguided striving. This is not different fundamentally from the kinds of things that someone will tell you if you're doing any form of athletic training. When I was a boy, I ran middle distance and distance, and this is exactly what we learned to do. You couldn't start out by running 10 miles at the beginning of the season. You might start out with just a couple miles, and then your legs might hurt for the first couple weeks. But gradually your body gets used to the strain and strengthens. And that happens with both body and mind in meditation too. You adjust. Something in you adjusts. Give it a chance. Be patient with yourself. And also, push into it a little bit when it is good to do so. As for the place where you meditate, it should be a place where you can be private. It should be a place that's clean. It should be a place that is free from human activity, free from undue levels of distraction. The neighbor's barking dog generally isn't a problem. Having a TV on in the room where you're sitting would usually be a problem. In one of the talks that's coming in this series, I will show how to set up a home altar, and I will talk a little bit more about one's place of private sitting, private practice in the home at that time. Thank you.